What is going on, my beautiful brothers and sisters, fellow radiators of love? My name is Jamal Pope, aka J Fenixx, and welcome to your astrology forecast for today, Friday, June 2nd of 2023. Let's hop right into it, shall we? Now, this is going to be a Friday. Hopefully, everyone's looking forward to the weekend. We are building up to that full moon in Sagittarius, which will be happening at 13 degrees. Of course, I'll be making a video on that probably sometime tomorrow. But let's hop into today's trends, shall we? So, of course, still have the sun in Gemini. It'll be at 11 degrees for the first part of the day, and then we'll shift to 12 degrees for the second half of the day. We do still have that moon in Scorpio, and as you can see, with it being at 19 degrees at the start of the day, I have this set to 627 here on the East Coast in the United States. We'll be making that opposition over to Uranus pretty much to start the day. So already getting a bit of a challenging energy here. The moon is Scorpio. It'd much rather be where Taurus is, and much rather be in where Uranus is, and much rather be in Taurus where it is exalted. That's where it feels the best. But it's in Scorpio, so yeah, it doesn't really feel that great here. These deeper emotions that we're having to process, where we have emotionally invested ourselves too, and when it coming into this opposition with Uranus, yeah, Uranus definitely can be a big, this big sort of wild card energy. I think wild card energy. I think it's a very electric kind of energy, and with it being a Taurus, this is kind of an interesting place. So, this opposition is going to kind of stress. It's really going to. What I'm really feeling with this energy is that this is probably going to be more of like a external thing. So maybe some news comes down the pipeline early in the day on Friday that could potentially, throw us for a loop emotionally. I say that because Uranus is at 20 degrees of Taurus, which these last 10 degrees of Taurus, especially with it being Uranus, and Uranus is a very communicative sign, a very community-oriented sign. With it being at that last 10 degrees, this has to deal with the world stage. And with the moon making its opposition over here, just be careful about what news you kind of see today and how things on the world stage affects your emotions, because you can, if you allow it can take you to a pretty deep place, and a pretty dark place if you're not careful, especially with the south node here and the moon having just conjuncted that space. So this is about not allowing the outside world to dictate our emotions. I think it's important to be aware of what's going on in the outside world. It's important to know what's happening in the news and everything like that, but also knowing that, we actually still have control over our own emotions and over our own vibrations and stuff. We can at least control the way that we respond, right? You want to make sure that you want to make sure that you're not simply reacting to something like a knee-jerk reaction. You want to make sure that you're responding. But with the moon making this opposition, this can definitely put a bit of stress on the way that we react to the world today, right? Of course, that moon, the major thing about this day is not only do we have this semi-sextile between the sun and Venus, which is pretty much happening throughout the week. It's going to be happening pretty much for the next 4 or 5 days, where they're pretty much moving about the same pace, about the same speed, and a 45-degree angle. This is the semi-square, which is not the easiest aspect to deal with. The square is this sort of it's the circling, squaring off energies, where there's definitely a shift or definitely a turn when it comes to our experiences in the celestial body, stuff like that. There's definitely a turn. There's a shift. The semi-square is sort of like the signal to that shift. So if you want to think about it, say like you're driving, right? And think about you make a left hand turn, right? You make a left hand turn. That's like the square, right? So you turn, you literally change course. The story shifts. The semi-square is sort of like the signal to, okay, like this, you have to turn right here. And we already know that a shift is coming, right? So that's pretty much what this energy is telling us with this, is that there's already going to be this shift that's coming when it comes to The sun in Gemini, of course, is looking to have new experiences, looking to expand, looking to try and figure some things out, especially from a mental standpoint. And then Venus in Cancer is desperately trying to feel good, despite the fact that she's slowing down. She is out of bounds, although she's coming back in bounds pretty soon, but she still is out of bounds. I think she's at about 23 degrees north right now. So she's getting there. It's close, but not quite there yet, right? Not quite there yet, especially with that opposition to Pluto looming around the corner. So it's like Venus wants to feel good, and it kind of does feel. It kind of gets like a little glimpse of that today because we do have a grand water trine that happens later on in the evening. But at the same time, it's not the best feeling water trine in the world because it's already being stressed by the sun. It's being stressed by Pluto. Venus is just stressed. So when it comes to the feminine energy, when it comes to the receptive energy, it's stressed right now. When it comes to wanting to actually feel good right now, it's stressed. I'm not saying that you can't feel good right now. What I'm saying is that it may not necessarily feel the best right now. You may find yourself, maybe your emotions could be potentially all over the place right now, even though you may be trying to force certain situations to turn out the way that you want them to. But really, what's happening here, and as you see, I'll show you when we move this thing forward, is that we really can have the life that we want, but it's not going to come without some hard work and some effort, without some blood, sweat, and tears. We have been conditioned, especially within the spiritual community, we have been conditioned to think that feeling good all the time is the way to go, and that's not the case. We can't just avoid negative emotion. That's one of the biggest problems in this country, and just in general, is that people want to just avoid negative emotions, but we need to experience the whole wide range of emotions. But what happens the moment that someone experiences a negative emotion? They pop something, they pop a pill, they suppress it, Venus, like I said, a lot of this Venus energy has been it's been suppressed. Like we're suppressing deeper emotions that we need to process. That's the other part about the South Node of Scorpio, is that there are a lot of deeper emotions that need to be released and need to be brought to the surface. Some of the darker secrets of the way that you actually feel about the world, because the sun, like I said, is up, not the sun, but the South Node is opposing all of this Taurus energy. So a lot of the ways that you feel about the world, right? A lot of these secrets you've been suppressing for the longest time. And it's in the way that it comes out is that it leaks out, it oozes out in a very weird way and stuff like that. So you can feel like the vibe is off and stuff. I mean, here's the thing though. Like sometimes the vibe is going to feel off. If I were to speak in like millennial terms, right? Sometimes the vibe is going to be off. That's not necessarily is going to be a signal or a sign that something needs to end or something is just completely wrong in your life and that you have to completely get away from it, or that it's a toxic situation, or that that person is narcissistic. It doesn't necessarily mean that. You have to know your value and your worth. Once you know that, then you can really make that determining factor on whether or not that situation or that person or that place really is not in line with you. And I'm going to show you here as the day goes forward when we get to that grand water trine, because I think that that's actually probably one of the more important things of the day. It happens later on in the day. So, boom. So by 8:27 p.m., we're going to get this grand water trine with the moon in Scorpio, Venus in Cancer, and Neptune in Pisces. The strongest of these three energies is Neptune in Pisces, despite the fact that it has Saturn looming down. But of course, Saturn is already slowing down. It's at 7 degrees. This is the degree that's going to retrograde at. So it's not like Saturn's going to catch up to Neptune, but it still is in the house. Saturn's still staying over, and in Neptune's house. And when Neptune just kind of wants to just, kind of just be out there a little bit, go swimming, kind of just detach a little bit, kind of like explore these alien and new worlds, whatever like that. Saturn is in here trying to like clean things up. Saturn is in here trying to organize shit in many ways. So that's why Neptune is like, well, at least there's a decent amount of distance between them to where Neptune's like, yeah, well, I mean, I guess if Saturn wants to clean up that part of the house, that's fine. So if you want to think about it, like Saturn being in those first 10 degrees of Pisces, that's like the bedroom, you know what I mean? That's like the bathroom. That's where it's cleaning up. Neptune right now being in those last 10 degrees, I wouldn't say necessarily that it's even the living room. It's probably like outside. It's like the porch. It's like the garden and stuff like that. That's kind of where Neptune is right now. So it's what's exposed to the outside world. It's like the outside, if you will. So Neptune's like Saturn's visiting Neptune right now, and Saturn's like, oh my gosh, you haven't made your bed in like I don't know how long. And Neptune's like, I mean, yeah, but I mean, why make the bed if I'm just gonna go back to sleep? It's like, and Saturn's like, that's not the point. So there's a little bit of that going on, but you do get this grand water trine, which is definitely wanting to bring some positive energy when it comes to our emotions, how we process our emotions. But the problem is that the moon is in Scorpio, doesn't like to be there, right? It's at its detriment here. Venus is in Cancer. You would think that this would be a nice energy, but it's still being stressed by the sun. It's getting even closer to that opposition with Pluto, and it's still out of bounds. So it's almost like the way I'm almost seeing it, the way I'm almost feeling it is that like some of you guys may be feeling like you're not allowed to feel good. And that's not necessarily the case. It's really about you altering your perspective on what that even means. Because I think some of you guys, and a lot of us maybe in some ways, maybe trying to feel good in the old way. And it's not really panning out and working the way that you thought it would. But you have to feel good in a new way. Now, mind you, a lot of this energy is about to start retrograding. Like Pluto's already retrograded. Saturn's going to be retrograding soon. Venus will be retrograding soon. A lot of this energy is about to start moving backwards anyways. So it's like we want to feel good. We want to move forward, especially with Mars here at 7 degrees of Leo, but it's also making that quincunx over to Saturn, still at the same degree, right? So there's this sort of energy that's kind of holding us back. It's like Mars is ready to like pop out of bed and not even care about making it, just go and have fun. And Saturn's like, no, make your bed first. And some people are like, no, I don't want to make my bed. But it's like, no, Mars doesn't want to make his bed. Mars just wants to go and just have fun. Mars is like ready. It's like, yo, it's like Saturday morning and ready to go outside and play with the neighborhood kids, whatever like that. Saturn and Pisces like, did you make your bed first? Did you brush your teeth first? You need some food so you got a little bit of energy. And Mars is like, why are you doing this to me? But here's the thing about this grand water trine is that it still can feel good, but the key to it feeling good is in other signs. Why do I say that? The key to this energy feeling good is that you really want to pay attention to it. Really, a lot of times it's coming back to Taurus energy. A lot of things are coming back to the Taurus energy. It's coming back to physical earth energy. So many people are wanting to escape. Even Pluto retrograding in Aquarius, and that's the one thing that's being stressed here with Venus opposing it, is that so many of us want to move into the new world, want to move into it, but Pluto is going back into Capricorn. It's going back into an earth sign. So it's coming out of space, it's coming out of the clouds and going back into earth. So we're not done with that aspect. So many people want to get away and so many people want to escape, and it's not hitting the same. It's not hitting the same like it used to. Notice these numbers: 27, 27, 27. 2 plus 7 equals 9. Notice these numbers: 18, 18. 1 plus 8 equals 9. We have a harmonic of 9 energy on this day, especially when this trine comes into play. We have a harmonic of 9 energy. It's no coincidence that the moment that the moon hits this degree, Mercury, which is moving faster right now, is at 18 degrees. So it actually gives you that harmonic. So what that tells me, 1 plus 9 energy, 2 plus 7 or 9 energy, or the 1 plus 8 energy is 9, which is Mars energy, right? It's Mars energy. It's in many ways it's an energy about moving things forward. If you look in numerology, it's the number of wisdom and experience. As the final numeral, the number 9 symbolizes awakening and inner wisdom through life experiences and struggles. 9 represents impressive mental and spiritual lessons. That's what 9 is. It is the last, it's the final numeral before you go to 10, which is a 1 and a 0. So this is definitely a time where the universe is waking us up to what is truly possible and what the story really is. That's what's happening right now, right? So you got 2 plus 7, 2 plus 7, 2 plus 7, 1 plus 8. What is this energy as far as the harmonic goes? Chiron and Aries, issues with self-identity, right? And then you have 1 plus 8, which is 9, Mercury and Taurus, which is communicating our value. How can you communicate your value if you don't even know who you are? How can you know what you value if you don't know who you are? That's the one of the issues. A lot of people are so confused and they don't even know who they are. So that's why they struggle with the Taurus energy. That's why they struggle with manifestation. That's why they struggle with money. It's because they don't know who they are. But this grand water trine is going to sort of get, especially with this harmonic of this 9 energy that's being infused into this day, is going to give us a sort of insight into who we are. But like I said, with 9 being that 9 numerology, wisdom that comes through struggle. Chiron is all about that. And when you think about Chiron in many ways, and we can go more into like the history aspect of it, right? But Chiron, I believe, actually rules over the sign of Virgo. So Venus will not make it to Virgo for a while. It's going to go to like those last few degrees of Leo before it retrogrades. So we have that going on. But Virgo, if you really think about it, the reason why I feel like Chiron does represent that is because Chiron was, of course, the crap. Why am I blanking on this? This is stuff I should know immediately at the top of my head. Chiron. So let's see. Centaur, golly, yeah. Chiron was the centaur that pretty much gave up his mortality. He gave up his immortality, right? And he became mortal. He is considered the wisest and justest of all the centaurs. The centaurs, of course, is that Sagittarius-like energy, which we are having a full moon at too. By the way, we're having a full moon there as well. So when he gives up his immortality, in many ways, it goes all the way back to Virgo, because Virgo is the 6th sign of the zodiac. It's before you get into those upper realms with like Libra and Scorpio and stuff like that. So Chiron, it was many ways like in that Sagittarius energy. And then when he gave up his immortality and became mortal, he went all the way down to this he went down, not even necessarily down, but he went to this Virgo like energy. So Virgo, of course, is about the day-to-day reality, your daily work. It's about your health, which is why Chiron was involved in that sort of things as well. It's involved with healing. It's the wounded healer. So that's the thing about it too. So that all is pretty much going to be highlighted over this weekend, is that like a lot of us do have our own, what in the world is that? Some weird little bug. So a lot of us have our own wounding when it comes to our identity and stuff like that. Maybe people not accepting you for your identity and stuff. And you see a lot of that stuff going on right now. Identity politics, right? But that's the thing. If you don't know who you are, you're not going to know what you value. And if you don't know what you value, then you're not going to stand for anything. And when you can't stand for anything, then you can be easily taken advantage of. And then that's where you fall into that South Node in Scorpio, because you find yourself investing in people and situations that don't actually have your best interest at heart and are actually just going to rob you blind in the end. But you just keep giving it to them because you don't actually know who you are. But this day with this all of this 9 energy. And let's say you have the 9 energy here with Mercury. You're not really going to be able to get to this energy. And we're getting to that aha moment. We have Jupiter conjunct to the North Node here, which is giving us a little bit of juice, it's giving us some power. But we have to understand that it's like, yo, this thing isn't going to run without putting some hard work and some effort into it. This is like we're having to do our own oil change. We're having to do our own oil change in our life. We can't take this car, if you will, this metaphorical car, if you will. We can't take this car, if you will, and take it to someone to do the oil change for us. We actually have to do the oil change ourselves. And it's really not that hard. It's just going to require some work, maybe asking some people not necessarily how to do it, but we have to do our own oil change. That's pretty much what this energy is saying. But we are being gifted with all this 9 energy. That's wanting to make this more like these are deeper spiritual lessons too. Like if you want to take it even further, breaking down these numbers, the 2 energy is the moon and 7 energy is Neptune, right? So there's a spiritual quality to this as well. And look where Mars is, right? Mars is dispositing this Chiron energy. It's at 7 degrees. So this is like inspired action from the universe, where the universe is saying, you already know what to do. We're telling you what to do. You already have all the tools, so just go and do it. Will it be easy? No. Will it feel comfortable all the time? No. But will it be worth it? Absolutely, it will be absolutely worth it. Worth it. Sometimes I trip over my words. Ultimately, positive day. I can find positive aspects in just about everything, but it's just like challenging because it's not automatic. People are looking for automatic energy right now. This isn't automatic. This is manual. So if you don't know how to drive manual, and I don't know how to drive a manual car, so I have to learn how to do that. But if you don't know how to drive manual, if you don't know how to change your own oil, if you're relying on the outside world to heal you and you're not doing the personal work, if you're not doing the spiritual work and actually standing for what you believe in and then expressing that without the fear of being ostracized, that's the other part about it, the fear of being ostracized, then you're just not going to be in the place that's going to really just light up your soul, if you will, right? And it can be tough because we don't really have a lot of air energy. We have Pluto in Aquarius, right? We have Sun in Gemini, which is, it's going to be by itself in this sign for like another, 7 to 8 days or so. So we have like another week of just the Sun in Gemini. So it's like, as far as like connecting to others, I think that's the fear that a lot of people have, is that like, if I really do this and I really do express what I truly feel and like my true value and all this sort of stuff, will there be people there to have camaraderie with? Will there be people there that see things the way that I see them? They absolutely will be there. They just will probably be coming from the most unexpected places. You'll be surprised too. So you'll be actually surprised at just how many people will actually vibe with you if you really express who you are, because the universe has got your back. The universe has got your back, and we have to just believe that. I think a lot of people are expecting really, really bad things to just go wrong in their life, whatever. And I think we all feel like tension building up too. But take some personal responsibility and accountability for your own life and some integrity and see what changes, see what happens. Yes, crazy things have always happened in this world, and there's always been people that, in spite of all that, have created wonderful and beautiful lives and have changed the world. So you can do the same thing, beloved. You can do the same thing. All right, let's get the card for the day. All right, so the card of the day I have the Star card. What a beautiful positive card, a very beautiful positive card. So this is definitely saying that you absolutely have the tools at your disposal to really move forward and create the life that you really want. This is a card of Aquarius energy. It's also a card of like new beginnings because it does come after the Tower card. So in many ways, the thing has already crumbled, whatever that thing before has already crumbled. So this is like a new beginning and moving forward and not being afraid and following that North Star and really just trusting in your own intuition and trusting that the universe has your back. So many people don't trust that the universe has its back. I'm only going to draw one more card. And look, I got the full card, and it is in reverse and stuff like that too. So the what I'm getting from this card is that the full card in reverse is you feeling like you have some sort of imposter syndrome and that you don't actually belong having the life that you really want, because you're thinking like, well, crap, I've never had it before. So, do I actually belong having that sort of thing? And absolutely you do. That's the only way that you're going to get it. The only way to manifest the life that you really want is to do things that you've never done before. So, yeah, it is going to change you. It is going to change who you are and stuff like that. But that part of that honestly is who you've always been. It's just that we lose that part as we grow older. We get divorced from that aspect of ourselves as we get older, and then we have to refine it again. So don't be afraid to be the fool. Don't be afraid to charge into, what you really want, what you have already probably been working on for like the last 6 months at least, what you already have been working on. Don't be afraid to continue moving in that direction. And if you find some resistance, if you get a little bit of pushback, even better. That's going to do it for your astrology forecast today. I hope that you all enjoyed it. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. I greatly appreciate it. And be sure to check out my new website. The links will be in the description below. I probably will be making a video sometime soon, just kind of going over my website and just kind of like guiding you guys through it and stuff. But I'm going to go have a bowl of cereal now. So anyways, y'all take care. Stay blessed. I'll see you on the next video. Peace.